Hi, thanks for joining today for our full-time MBA information session. We're excited to have you join us to learn more about our full-time MBA programs and the application process and ways to get to know us better. Now, before we start into the application process in the program, I do want to spend some time getting to know Goizueta Business School. So you see our mission here. We prepare principled leaders to have a positive impact on business and society. So this is a mission you're gonna, hear repeated in many different ways throughout, maybe the presentation today, throughout the application process, and when you meet faculty and staff when you're here on campus. But really those bolded words there, principled leaders, business and society, those are the themes that are definitely going to be repeated and seen in multiple different places here at Goizueta. And here on this slide, you see Roberto C. Goizueta, our namesake. He's the former chairman and CEO of the Coca-Cola Company. He has a great history and legacy that you can read about more on our website. I invite you to do that when you have a chance. But also, we want to talk about his legacy here at Goizueta, his legacy of leadership as well as values. We have 7 core values. That's part of his legacy, as well as that principled leadership. He's very well known for his leadership. And you see these values here. We have rigor, the anchoring value right there in the middle. Above that, courage, integrity, and accountability. We really see that as our aspirational values. We're always striving to reach the highest level of those in everything that we do. And then diversity, team, and community. Those we consider our root values. They're the foundation of everything we do here at Goizueta. You're going to see all of these values around campus when you come and visit. You may see them on the application process, and you'll certainly hear them as you meet members of our faculty and staff and admissions team talking about our programs and the benefits of becoming a student here at Goizueta. And here I do want to mention all of the different programs we have to offer at Goizueta. So we're here today to talk about the full-time programs, the 2-year and the 1-year MBA. We also have the evening MBA as well as the executive MBA. So oftentimes there may be program overlaps for you. So you might want to apply to the evening MBA and the 1-year or the 2-year MBA. And we make that really easy in our application. You can apply to more than one program with one application. And so you might, as we go over the details for the full-time programs here, you might also take a chance to look at the information sessions for the evening MBA or the executive MBA if you're thinking about one of those profiles also being a fit for you. There on the bottom row, you also see that we offer a Master's in Business Analytics, our Master of Analytical Finance, our Executive Education courses, as well as our PhD program. Now, when it comes to primary areas of focus here at Goizueta Business School, there are 4. We have business and society. So if you remember back to our mission, those words business and society, you're seeing them here again. We also have our Business and Society Institute. We've got entrepreneurship and innovation. We have our Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation here at Goizueta. Principled leadership, that area of focus, just the legacy of leadership and the leadership development that's baked into all of the programs that we do. And then diversity, inclusion, and equity. This is going to be a huge part of the MBA program only because we're one of the only MBA programs that has a concentration in DEI. So definitely take a look into that as you're learning more about our program. Now, the strength of our full-time MBA. So there's a fantastic graph here that puts it all together for you. And then you see some statistics there across the top. But we really blend that world-class business education with an intimate learning environment. And you can see there that student-to-faculty ratio of 5:1. And then we're here in Atlanta, a dynamic global city. There's so much to offer as we combine this all together. So this is really, all 3 of these aspects make up that strength of the program, and then we're going to dig a little bit into each one of these. Now, in terms of the program structure, we're first going to look at the 2-year MBA. You see the core courses plus those 14 electives. We've got that fall semester where you're going to have onboarding, your core classes, your impact class, which is a signature program here at Goizueta where you're going to learn those softer skills of problem solving, persuasive communication. You're going to be working with a real world client here in Atlanta on a business challenge with your core team. You're going to have that professional development and the cornerstone built into that fall semester. Then you can see as you move to the spring semester, you're going to have principled leadership course, your electives begin. You could have your global experiential module in that semester. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about that, and it can It can be in a couple of different places as you look over the 2-year cadence there. And then you're going to have the second half of that impact course happening. And then as you see in the summer semester, your internship, and then the second fall and second spring, you're going to be finishing up with your electives and then graduation. It really will be completed before you know it. If you're looking at our 1-year program, there are many advantages to this program, which is really meant for individuals not doing a major pivot. As you see, the internship is not part of this 1-year program, and you have 10 electives instead of 14, but it's really meant for individuals who are coming into the program. You're going to elevate your career in the industry for which you're in, or you're doing a minor pivot, and you're going to be able to do that in this accelerated program. So it is the same degree, it is just an accelerated format. So you can see your summer semester is going to have all of the same core classes, the onboarding, the impact that the 2-year students are going to have in their fall semester. And then you're going to combine with those 2-year students going into their fall and spring semester of their second year for your fall and spring semester if you're going to do the 1-year program. And like I said earlier on, if you're kind of divided between is the 1-year or the 2-year the right program for me, you can certainly apply to both programs, and we would admit you to both if it's a good fit, or one or the other. We do have a 1-year advantage presentation, and I believe that's also in our on-demand library. So we invite you to take a part and watch that and get to know a little bit more about our 1-year program if you think that could be a really good option for you. In terms of program academics, you heard me mention about core classes. So you can see all of those listed here. So you'll be taking those in that first semester. We also have those stackable credentials down there. So the Certificate of Advanced Leadership and then the STEM Business Analysis track. So both the 2-year and the 1-year program have that STEM designation if you follow that STEM Business Analysis track. So if that is of interest to you, certainly dig into that on our website. We've got more information there. We offer 90 different elective courses, and those are going to roll up into about 20 different concentrations. And I like to describe a concentration a lot like a major that you had in your undergraduate program, but this is nothing that you have to declare. So I might have a concentration in finance and only have one during my time in the 2-year program because I went really deep with all of my elective courses in that area. I might have 2 or 3 different concentrations because I layered finance with marketing and maybe a little, leading organizations in there. So, we have candidates that graduate with more than one concentration, up to 3. So you see there, accessibility, flexibility. We all have a really great opportunity to make the program what you need it to be here at Goizueta. Deep academic engagement. So again, the idea of layering on top of those core classes and what is required of the program itself on the academic side. We've got those student-led initiatives such as the Peachtree Minority Venture Fund, the John Lewis Racial Justice Case Competition, and then you see the fellowships, whether they're part of one of our centers that we've talked about. These are open to everyone in the full-time program, the evening and executive program. These are fellowships you can learn more about on our website, and you could apply to become a fellow once you complete your application for admission. So some people apply during that admissions process or during their first year in the program. It's just up to you and what makes best sense for you. When it comes to experience and opportunity, so outside of the classroom, there is so much going on. We really take it to heart when we say this is a full-time MBA experience. So there's that leadership development component, the global acuity, and then clubs and community. Leadership development. There's so much to talk about here. We have a fantastic video on our website, so I invite you to find that leadership development in the student, I believe it's in the student or academic section under each MBA program, but you can search that there and watch this video. But you'll learn more about our Delta Airlines Leadership Coaching Fellows. Those fellows will be working with you at the beginning of your program to help you find your leadership voice. What is your leadership style? What areas do you want to grow your leadership into? Everyone in the program will take part in the Leaders Reaction course. We go down to Fort Benning in Columbus, Georgia. You'll be leading your cohort members into physical and mental challenges where you're probably going to get wet. I say it's kind of like American Ninja Warrior in an escape room, but everybody has a lot of fun down at the Leaders Reaction course and getting to learn about each other as well as yourself when you take part in that. We've got the Goizueta Advanced Leadership Academy, so you can layer that onto your program, and you can see there in the slide they are on a sailboat. Sort of the culmination of that program is a sailing trip down in the British Virgin Islands, so that is a really fun program and sought after for a number of reasons, including the fantastic sailing trip. And then, of course, ending with that certificate of advanced leadership. So really adding that credential to the program, getting that leadership development, not only what's baked in, but adding in additional opportunities for yourself. When it comes to global acuity, there is a global travel requirement, or we want to have this global aspect that is a requirement of the program. So you can meet this requirement in many different ways. So you see a list of those areas here. I will mention that the majority of our students take part in the global experiential modules. 3 to 4 of those are offered each year. You're presented with those options at the beginning of each year, so you'll know, yes, I really want to do that business trip to Brazil, or maybe to Israel, Japan, Norway. I mean, just so many great opportunities. Only one of, participating in one option is the requirement, but we have students that certainly do more than one. Another popular is the study abroad. So, especially for our 2-year students, being able to spend a summer, semester, or even a short study abroad with one of our partner institutions is an option. So definitely something to speak with our student ambassadors about when you're on campus, or you're at one of our virtual events, or connecting with an ambassador chat, just to get to know the program. This is a great thing to ask about. They love talking about their travel globally. Clubs and community. There is so much on this slide here, and that is because our community is super involved in everything they do. So this is another place to flex those leadership skills. But as you can see, we've got academic and professional clubs, cultural clubs, general interest clubs, and then student government. So there really is something for everyone. And even on your application, we're going to ask you, how do you look to get involved? So this is a great place to explore, maybe connect with a leader of one of these clubs and get to know them. So you can say, yes, this is where I'd like to get involved once I get on campus at Goizueta. If there is something missing and you want to start something, you can talk to the dean of the program, get a sponsor, and start it up. So we are all about that here at Goizueta. And you might hear about that a little bit more from our deans when they're doing their coffee chats. They like to talk about this too. So Atlanta. So either you've been here or you've flown through the airport perhaps, but there's so much greatness that is going on. So like that first slide where we talked about the strength of the program, we're small by design, but you really get the benefits of being in such a big global city as Atlanta. So you can see, again, there's some fantastic stats across the top in terms of Fortune 500 headquarters, global headquarters here in Atlanta. And then we kind of break down other great things that are happening. Silicon Valley of the South, Transaction Alley here in Atlanta and Georgia. And I think that percentage of 70% of the global financial transactions passing through headquarters here in Atlanta grows day by day. We're also the Hollywood of the South. Some might even say Yollywood. So any day you're driving around Atlanta, you're going to see signs for the filming of Stranger Things or The Walking Dead. We have students who take part in these things as extras if you're passionate about it. But that is an entire industry that's booming here in Atlanta and in the region. That's fantastic business-wise. And then, of course, art, entertainment, and culture. So much is going on. As you can see in that picture, Atlanta is a city, within a forest. There's so much nature and green around us. We have a lot of outdoor arts festivals, music festivals, trails. We are 2.5 hours from the mountains. We are 4 hours from a beach. So it is a really great place to do your MBA, whether it's for professional or personal reasons, to check out Atlanta. And then career management. So this is going to be that aspect of your MBA program that is going to be a big part of it, right? Connecting with our career management center, you're going to have a one-on-one coach that's going to help you reach your goals. So you can see here some of those statistics from our most recent employment report. Fantastic numbers in terms of job offers within 3 months of graduating. Some of those salary upon graduation. And then you can see our leadership in graduates who are going into consulting, financial services, and tech. Those are the largest sort of pieces of the pie there. But what I will tell you is that 3% of other is so much. I love speaking to our students and hearing them say, Goizueta is a school that can get you wherever you want to go. So if you are part of that 3% of other, do not be deterred that you're not in one of the larger pieces of the pie. We have members of our career management staff that will support you in those areas. and across everything. So really take advantage of connecting with the Career Management Center staff when you see a presentation or a virtual session with them to really get your questions answered, and students as well. So even if you're connecting with a student who may be in operations or management and you ask them, hey, do you know anyone with a nonprofit background or maybe someone in energy or healthcare, they can really guide you to their friends, right? They are all friends. That's what's great about it being such a small cohort, and they can start that sort of chain of meeting this person. Oh, now you must talk to this person. So that's really big for us at Goizueta. So don't hesitate to ask those questions of our current students. Here are some of our top companies in terms of career outcomes. This, of course, is not a comprehensive list. You can visit the website pages on career management where there are many more listed. So take advantage of that. And then alumni highlights. We have a fantastic mentoring program. So we can't fit everyone on one slide, but this gives you a good cross-section of who is out there as our mentors, who you could connect with, what companies they work for. And really, with 100 years of experience in the business school, our alumni network is vast, and so you really will have some fantastic connections, whether or not if they're in our mentoring program. And then admissions. So now that you've decided that our full-time program is your top choice and you're really excited to start the application process, it can be a big one. It may have been a while, more than 3, 4, 5 years ago that you've applied to your undergraduate program. And you can see here all of the materials that will be required of you. So we have your application form, your resume, transcripts. We're going to want to have uploaded transcripts of any undergraduate or other graduate programs you may have completed. You're going to have 2 professional recommendations. There are 3 written essays. So those are about 250 to 300 words. So you're going to want to take some time and self-reflection to answer those questions. We have a video essay. We really see that as a fun component of our application, and we hope you do too. It's a spontaneous response to a randomly chosen question within the application portal. We have standardized test scores. So we will want you to provide a GMAT or a GRE score with your application. We also accept MCAT and LSAT scores. And then, of course, you will submit your application by one of our deadlines. We're going to see those in just a minute. But then we will reach out for invitations for interviews. So that's how that process works for us. And then you can see here some of the logos of our partners, Consortium, Forte. So you might already be connected with those partners. And if, for instance, if you're applying through the consortium, we will have touch points throughout the year in the application cycle where you can learn a little bit more about how that works, applying through the consortium to Goizueta. So you'll want to be on the lookout for that if you haven't already connected sooner. The other thing I will mention is we have a fantastic program called Getting It Done 101. So this really breaks down each of these required application components, and over a 4-week period, we're going to kind of have one session that talks about this is what we're looking for in your resume. This is what we want to see in your transcripts. So if you are the type of person who likes to be guided through, have a little bit of homework, have a schedule to be able to get this done on your preferred deadline, this is a great program for you. So you can find how to register on our website. And if you do take part in that Getting It Done 101 program, you do get an application fee waiver with that. Now, financing your MBA, we always get a lot of questions about this. We do have merit and other scholarships to the full-time MBA program. You're automatically reviewed for those with your admissions application. So there's no separate application. When you would learn about your admissions decision, if you're admitted, you would also then learn about any merit or scholarships you had been awarded. So just take that to note when you're thinking about that. We have graduate loans, international student loans, and then of course we work with our military and veteran candidates on those benefits and yellow ribbon. About a little over 50% of our full-time MBA students do receive some level of merit scholarship, and that can typically range from 20% to 100% of tuition. So there is a good chance of getting that. Make sure you're putting your best foot forward with your application because they are merit-based. So when you're debating, do I take another GMAT test? Do I provide a little bit more information? Do I have that big project on my resume? Those are the types of things that we're going to be looking for when we're assessing for merit and other scholarships. Deadlines. I mentioned this before. We've got 3 deadlines in the full-time program. They're slightly tweaked for those of you applying to the one-year program. So you want to be aware. So round 1 is in the fall, October 5th. Round 2 is January 9th. So we really do encourage all of our international candidates and candidates applying to the one-year program to aim for that round 2 deadline. So this will give you full eligibility for our scholarships in the application, and it will really give you the best competitive sense for your application. When it comes to round 3, those scholarships have been awarded by that time. The majority of our seats in the program have been offered, so it gets highly competitive in round 3. So we do really, if you want to optimize your competitiveness, we want you to aim for round 1 or round 2. We know that some of you come to the decision to apply closer to round 3, and that's great. We do admit, fantastic students who are the right fit in round 3. So if that's the round for you, that's fantastic. But if you really want to optimize your chances for scholarships and you're applying to the one-year program, certainly take a look at round 1 or round 2 for us. And then lastly, I do want to introduce you virtually to our Associate Dean of the full-time program, Brian Mitchell. So if you haven't had a chance yet to do one of our monthly coffee chats or come to one of our preview days on campus, our Super Saturday, which is in the fall, we just have so many ways that you can meet Brian, his team, our faculty and staff. So these are great ways. We make them available in our admission sessions and on campus because we want you to have the opportunity to ask questions, get to hear about the program from their voice. They have the lifeline and the connection to the current student and the alumni, and they're going to be able to give you some super great information about applying to the program. So I invite you to be on the lookout for all of these great events, whether they're happening virtually or on campus, and we look forward to meeting you at these events and receiving your application soon. Thank you so much for watching.